Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in the world. This is Swifty, the Ineffectual Gamer, and this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yes, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I really haven't run it in a long time. One of my cats is having a shit fit under my feet as I speak. So, oh, I've made that too big. So sorry, let me switch. Oh, you've seen under the hood. You've seen under the hood. You've seen the secrets of how this works. This thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna send a message out. Damn it. I wanted to hide a part of it. What the fuck are you doing, cat? Get out! Dickhead. Sorry. So I'm still waiting for the game to load up. It's taking a while to load up today. Just going to check the temperatures and make sure that the temperatures aren't going through the roof. They're actually not, actually, for the time being. I think that's loaded into the menu screen. Okay, cool. Right, let me go back to the chat. Let me go back to the chat. Where's my YouTube? Okay. Oh, press the wrong one. Right, yo. It's Friday. And live chat. 97. Welcome in. So I'm just going to say welcome in to everybody, and then I'm going to pin that. Pin it on YouTube. I do believe I've got no, it's locked to orientation at the moment, so we need to take that off. I haven't got my tablet today, unfortunately. Right, so I am using this. Hang on. I've got messages. Oh no, that's me, you fucking idiot. Right, I'm just going to check that everything's in place. Okay, the chat's in place. I haven't got a camera tonight. The only reason I haven't got a camera, and I haven't put the other flight simulator stuff, even though I'm making gestures towards the camera. I haven't put other flight simulator stuff on tonight, just because I don't want the screen to be too discombobulated, if that's a word. Oh, it was trying to sell me something on the premium edition there. I've always sworn to myself, if I ever see the premium edition at a crazy price, I'm gonna sign up for it. And it jumped off before I even saw it there, so we'll pretend we never saw it, because otherwise I'll cry myself to sleep. Okay, so this is the planet, okay? So we all know this. That's Africa. This is Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia. We got Asia, India, and then we got Russia up here, right? Look at that. That's absolutely filled full of stuff. Chock-a-block. These are the areas that they've currently worked on. Now you can see the US there. It's great stuff. I've actually got a mod. If you go into Spain, it'll start loading it in. Crazy ass mod in Spain. But it slows everything down, so I try not to use it unless I'm absolutely using it. Because I live in Spain, so there's things I want to see, there's things I want to do. And this mod for Spain is crazy. It adds points of interest that even I didn't know about close to where I live. So I actually use it at the moment to look for good places to walk, interesting places to see, because it's a dime a dozen. If we move into where I live, and it's in this part here where I'm circling now. If we move in there, you'll start to see everything starts slowing down. That's not your YouTube or anything. That's the game's trying to load in all the information because there's a crazy amount of information. So I live here, right? So it just pop up. It said Ripoll up here, and Ripoll is the closest like big city. I live like more or less around here. Couldn't be lower, so it'll be here, right? So I'm just gonna move in. and it's going to say Manlleu here, and then this is Bic. Oh, and we've got an aircraft passing us, and that is an EasyJet flight. And I actually know exactly where it's passing, because we came in, when I came from England the other week, we came in on this exact air route. So I know that exact route he's on. I could see my house. So we go to my city here. This is my city Bic. And it's showing as lit at the moment. Actually, this wouldn't be as lit here. It'd actually be more lit here, because we'd have the light from Bic, and then we'd have the light from Sant'Eugenia, and then Taradell as well down here. So this area is actually more lit than this area, because Gurb is not very well lit at all. But anyway, semantics. So, yeah, so I haven't played this game in a long time, and I was like, do you know what, I really want to play this game. I loaded it up a while ago, started to mess about, and I was really enjoying it. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to play it. Now, I'm not going to hang around where I live, because all of this is messed up. So the simulator, when it looks at this, sees each one of these as a house, and then in actuality it doesn't differentiate where the streets in some cases, so we end up with this really big blocky ugly thing, and I don't like doing that. So we're gonna look at Spain, how it loads in. I'm gonna zoom out so it doesn't load it in. The further out you zoom, the more it ignores it. So instead we're gonna go to the mighty United States of America, and I'm going to take a sip of wine here because I haven't had a sip tonight. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for a spot to fly from. So I'm going to introduce you to the Sky Park. The Sky Park is basically this. My little tablet here. We're going to wake it up. So I've got it set in the middle of the screen at the moment. So we're going to go to the home screen here. We're going to look at my little tablet here. So we've got contracts, conduit, your flight, holdings, progress, blah blah blah, roleplay, but we're not going to touch on the roleplay part. It's a Discord thing that is part of the game if you want to play it. At the moment we look at holdings, I've got $8,945. I honestly wish I did in real life, but I don't. That's the sad part of it. If we go to contracts, I'll let this load in here. This is so cool. Okay, so it's loading in where I last looked at, but we can go anywhere, so I'm going to clear this off. This is a Sky Park. This is why I say, if you've never played Flight Simulator, you've never got into it, it's got some interesting add-ons, and this is one of the very interesting add-ons. There's a ton of them, but this is one of the most interesting. Sky Park allows you to take jobs and all of these routes. Now, Sky Park's got a lot of things that I don't particularly like nor agree with. So they want a very open gameplay experience with their app. But I think every app should have the option of do it the hard way or the easy way. If you want to do it the easy way, we have a load of cheats, everything's open, and just do what you want. Or you can do it the hard way. What they've done is they've done somewhere in between. They have a couple of options, and one option is you can do it the supremely easy way, but you get nothing. Or you can do it the other way and get something. Now the other way, and this is the point I don't like, is I'm going to give you a really good example here. So let's find New York. So we know this is Long Island. I say we know. This is Long Island. So New York Island is here, right? So we're going to have LaGuardia here, JFK here, and then we're going to have, I'm not going to click on it till I know, Newark. So we're going to have Newark here, K-E-W-R, that's Newark. Okay, so we'll zoom in a little bit, just so you know I'm not lying. So there you go, Newark Liberty, JFK, and LaGuardia. Now LaGuardia is not as used these days as much as the other two. Kennedy International is one of the most used, and Newark is second. Newark, now this is a strange thing. This is New York City here. When you talk about Manhattan, the island, this is New York City. So JFK, miles away. Newark, really close by. But in reality, Kennedy, if you ever fly to New York, Kennedy is much better to take, because Newark is, you have to go round about the houses somewhere up here to, and then you take another train to come across, and it's an absolute pain in the backside. Anyway, to get down to business, so when you click on an airport, and you click, for example, departures, the app's going to search for departures from that airport. Now, I didn't, there's one thing I missed, right? One little thing I missed. So we click on that. We're going to put wide. So this, I'll actually put wide and narrow. So this is for serious aircraft. You're talking about 747s and whatnot. So let's just click that and let it run. Let's see what it brings us. This is where my problem with the app is. Now it says these are all acceptable distances. See, you're running a 747. Let me say we run this mission, right? We get paid 4,600 to run COVID-19 vaccines from New York to what looks like Bermuda. I'm guessing it's Bermuda. So it's a pretty cool route. I'm not going to knock it. You might get lost in the triangle. You never know. What have you got here? You got 1,900 to run preserved fish and caviar to Upper Cumbrial Regional, which Upper Cumbrial Regional, I'm supposing it's like a fucking it's a one runway place. That's a guess, but the name. I mean, you seriously flying a 737, 747 to deliver fish and caviar? Come on. I think, and what I'm trying to get at is the people at Skypark, they are doing an amazing job. They're doing a really, really good job. And I don't think it's a bad job. I just think they have to work a bit harder. Because a lot of people have paid for this. And I'm not going to complain about it or anything. But I really think, like, seriously, deliver COVID-19 vaccines. Come on, we can do a bit better than that. It is in pre-alpha. I think they call it. It's in beta. So they say like it's no. Do they say it's pre-alpha or beta? I can't remember. I think they say it's in pre-alpha. But even so, it's been in pre-alpha for God knows how long. And the Discord is really active. The Discord's very active. So, and they say, for example, KLGA. If you're not getting enough information, just clear it, search KLGA, and it'll give you everything going out of that airport. So, okay, good. But you're telling me in one day we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, got short distance 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's only 11 routes from LaGuardia? You kidding me? I just can't imagine it. So, whoops, I've jumped out. I've jumped onto the other one. So, let's say we're not going from LaGuardia, because we've got Sicker LaGuardia. We're going from Kennedy, which is KG or KJ. Oh no, it's JFK. No, KJFK. KJFK. I think it's the only one. Okay, so JFK. Okay, so JFK's got a few more. They're all pretty damn long distance. So got this one, this is running to Oakland, I'm guessing. OAK, it's Oakland. Yeah, Metropolitan Oakland. So, you know, that's buyable. If you run the 747 or whatever, it's buyable. Didn't know Oakland was right on the bay there, but it is. That's what I love about this adapter as well. Got Phoenix, KPHS will be Phoenix. So, yeah, so Phoenix Sky Harbor. Don't know why it's called Sky Harbor when it's in the middle of the desert. KMCI. I don't know where KFC. It's close to Kansas City. It's Kansas City International. Okay, I didn't know that. KSTL would be Kansas. No, it wouldn't, because K is all the American ones. So K, St. Louis. So that'll be St. Louis. Yes, Lambert St. Louis International. Just trying to learn the codes. K-Ord is Chicago. I know that because I've been there, Chicago O'Hare. So that's actually a mission, it was just hidden. But it's a return mission, so it goes from K-Ord, so it's not actually... oh no, I've got my live chat stuff. It's on live chat, isn't it? Okay. Alright, so... yeah, then we've got some going to Europe, we've got one going to the top of Africa. Well, it's not the Africa, it's actually Canary Islands, and that would be Gran Canaria, so that is Tenerife? Yeah, Tenerife. I should know that actually. That's the main airport on Tenerife. Los Rodeos. So, but we're not going to fly to Tenerife today. It's not going to happen. So, it also tells you where you last left your aircraft. If you see that you see that here, there's like a circle and it rents out and it rents out. This is where I last left my aircraft. And the reason I left my aircraft here was because I was playing Deadliest Catch. I was flying the Deadliest Catch people into there. So I'd flown from here, I think, if I remember, or somewhere down here, and I'd flown over these islands. But these airports don't work, unfortunately. Especially this one, it actually doesn't work. So if we zoom in, I'll tell you why it doesn't work. Oh no, it's not showing it there. That's how bad it's not working. That's not working because one of the runways it's in a forest. So it's a dirt runway, I'm guessing, and it doesn't function correctly. So I was thinking of actually flying myself out of here and trying to find my way more inland, but I was like, you know what, don't bother with that stuff. You can do whatever you feel the need to do. So I thought we might come to Salt Lake, which is KSLC, if I remember rightly. Yeah, Salt Lake. So we're going to use Salt Lake today as my base place to fly out of. And we're going to look at the options. So we're only going to do a short one. If we have time, we'll do a second short one as well. I don't mind doing that, but I just wanted to really kind of play around with the Sky part today because I've played around with it. I've got 8 grand, but I really wanted to play around with it. I don't think I've played around with it as much as I could, and I'm really enjoying it. So we've got a flight to San Francisco. KRNO, where could that... That's Reno, I think, because there's 2 lakes and it's in Nevada, so I'm guessing that's Reno. Okay, so it's Reno Tahoe, yeah. So I think we're going to run this one, and the reason we're going to run this one is this is Lake Tahoe, which is apparently one of the most beautiful lakes you can ever see. So we're going to run to Reno and hope that maybe we have a secondary flight to San Francisco, Oakland, sorry. But we're going to run this one, so I'm going to select it and I'm going to see what the mission is. So it says get nut oil from Salt Lake City International to Reno International. So we'll look at the details, and this is well within our reach. We're actually this plane here, so all of these planes are acceptable, all 4 of these are acceptable, so we're going to click that one. So what we need to know is we're going KSLC to KRNO, right? And this is really, really important. Okay, so let's have a look. KSLC. Salt Lake City, and we're going to KRNO, I think. We can switch back, but KRNO. Reno Tahoe, yeah, that's the one. Okay. So, it's a bit of flight. I don't know how it's exactly how many miles that is. We'll find when we do this. So we're gonna go, I think we're gonna go high altitude. I think it's high enough for high altitude. We can always check that. So the first thing you do when you're flying high altitude is we look at the total distance. We're going to go into the nav log and we're going to see that we have 15, 124, 137. So this is the big difference, right? Between 124 kilometers and 137 kilometers, we're going to have our cruise and descent altitude, which is a bit too close. We're talking 7, so we're talking 10, 11, 12 kilometers difference, and 12 kilometers is nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this back. Now we're in a TBM, a day at TBM 930. It's saying 32,000 feet. That's actually an impossibility. The TBM cannot fly at 32,000 feet. So I'm going to go 30 for today and just see what it gives us from it actually doesn't say what the top of our ascent is now, but it'll be here. 124. It's still the same, it says, so that's a bit weird. But you know what, we're going to go 30,000 feet. That's what we're going to set it at. Right, now here's where I should be taking notes, because I've done something and not taken notes, so I'll have to do that in a second. So we've got runway 34, but of course we're not going to be there. We're going to start at a ramp. So we'll go GA small there. But we know we're runway 34. Right, so we need to look for a departure from runway 34. So I'm going to go Seattle departure. But what we're going to do is we're going to run it back. We're going to see what the departure is like. So we're going to fly runway heading, which is very good. And then when we reach this point, that's just before the Great Salt Lake, we're going to take a left turn. So that, to me, that seems completely normal. We're probably going to overrun it slightly, would be my guess. Maybe not. We might turn the autopilot on before that. We never know. We're going to cross here. This is Wendover Airport here. I don't know if Wendover... I actually don't know if Wendover is military or... It's a massive part. I don't think it's military, Wendover. But it doesn't quite make sense to just be sat there either. In the middle of the desert. But anyway... So I actually don't think we're going to get to 30,000 feet today. I really don't. So we're arriving at runway 16. Okay, so we're going to have a look here. 16. We've got 16 right and 16 left. Hang on a second. Give over. Right, okay. So we're gonna go. Okay, we'll see if that one works. 16 right, so we've got 16 right. X. That's too much. Y. Not too much. Z. No. Okay, try a different one from 16, right? No, we can't. Right, let me try a different. I'm going to take this one. I think it's strange that we're going down and then up. What's the opposite runway? What's the opposite runway? 34, let's try 34. Oh, not so many options there. Let's try 34. X. Oh no, because that's gonna make us land on runway 34. But if we've been given 16, we have to take it. So I'm gonna go for the Z one. I prefer the Z one, I think. But I don't like that it goes down here. I think we could have gone somewhere up here, but you know what? Let's take it. let's go to flight conditions, make it live, but we're going to click clear skies, and there's a reason we're going to click clear skies. So we're loading clear skies. Let me make sure everything's throttles are back and all that stuff. I did use a parking, didn't I? Yeah, I did. And this Salt Lake City Airport. So, some of my things have changed. So unfortunately, I can't quite see everything the way I like to see it. But anyway, we can take it from a lower point of view and say this is Salt Lake. So these are the Washoe Mountains, just over the back of this. Back of this part of the airport. But anyway, I hate that it's doing that. It's quivering. Is quivering a word? Okay, so let's go back to our tablet. So we're gonna click it, and then it says pay $46, but yeah, that's because I have to relocate my aircraft. I don't like the fact that I have to, and actually it's never the amount it says there, it's always more, but you know what, I've had to bring it from Alaska, so 458 quid to bring it to Alaska is fine. Now we can load our cargo, so we're loading nut oil. Right, okay, so nut oil is loaded. And we can drop that out now because we don't need it because we are loaded and we are ready to go. So let's turn our battery on. Now I'm sorry for any aficionados when I mess it up here, because I absolutely don't mean to mess it up. I'm actually going to make sure that before I turn that off, I should make sure that all these are turned off. Because sometimes when you load in, they're actually turned on. So we'll touch that. Bring on the Garmin. There's a problem with the Garmin. It freezes if you leave it on MDF. So I'm not going to leave it on MDF. You turn to PDF. So I found that out the other day because the screen kept on freezing all the time. And I was like, maybe it's just if I leave it on that MDF. And I changed it and it stopped freezing. So at the moment, that seems to be the cause. Now you can see our doors wide open. Way! And we can see people coming in. I don't know if they're real flights or fake flights. I think they might be a group. I think they might be a group. I don't know. One came from Denver. No, maybe not. Maybe not. You never know. So we've got 608 kilometers to go. That's actually more than I thought. So we're going to close the door. So we can see the door getting closed. All the outside noise is blocked and our stuff is loaded. So we're going to go to the clearance and request clearance. Yeah. So I'm going to request IFR clearance.
Salt Lake clearance delivery, Mike Ski 9er 7.
I know it says Mike Ski. I ate it. Could have changed it.
Mike Ski 9er 7 is cleared to Reno Airport as filed. Take off runway 34 right climb and maintain 16,000 feet.
Right, okay.
Departure frequency is 128.1 squawk 7644.
So we're going from runway 34 and we're going to maintain 16,000
Mike
feet.
Ski 9er 7 cleared
So we go out to
Reno
altitude
Airport
here,
as filed.
change it
Take
to
off runway
16,000
right
feet.
climb and maintain
It'll take a while
16,000
because
feet.
it doesn't, it's
Departure
a bit
on 128.1 squawk
iffy, this system.
7644.
Mike Ski 9er 7 read back correct.
So I'm going to change it up to
Contact route on
16,000.
121.9er.
Hello, Jack. I'll get to you in a minute, my friend. Get to you in a moment, my friend. Hang on a second. So where have you been? What's wrong with you? 16,000. So we're gonna put this to 16,000. So they've just set contact ground when we're ready to go. Okay. So this is a bit of a cumbersome process, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to do it for the time being, and then when we're off in the air, I'll give Jack a piece of my mind. We can. Right, so we're set. So if you look here at 16,000, we're set. Now the first thing we need to do is change this. So you see where it says active nav. Actually, I'll take that off as well. It says active nav here. We need this to say FMS or FMC. I can't remember now. FMS, because this is our active autopilot route that we want to go. Now, I'm not a professional, so I'm not going to sit here and try and preach that I know everything. I am trying to learn this plane inside out, and I've been watching videos of various people flying it, and there's certain things that I do that I know are wrong, and there's certain things I know I do that are right. So it's good that I'm learning a little bit, but I'm trying to iron some things out. But what I'm trying to do at the moment is not do too much with a checklist, for the simple reason that I know pilots fly with a checklist, but I'm trying to do it without. So right, yeah, Jack, because I've been looking for you on the division a couple of times and I haven't seen you. I was like, Jack's gonna have a good build now, so I'll play with him. But I haven't had a load of choice, not chase, load of choice. So the first thing we need to do is we need to set our climb speed. Now normally people use the flight level change, and I've seen it in so many videos. They very rarely use V speed now. It seems like they go flight level change, and it's like let the computer do everything. Now the TBM 940, which this is not, unfortunately has an auto throttle as well as flight level change, and that is beautiful. But this doesn't have it, so there's nothing we can do. Okay, so we're not going to use ground services probably today. We're going to pretend this guy isn't here, and I'm going to explain why. Right, so we're going to go vertical speed 1,200. So you see here, there's going to be a little thing that opens up. I'll press vertical speed, and it starts at 0. We're going to bring it down until it says 1,200, because as far as I'm aware, that's the operating option. You haven't done anything, don't worry. I was just disappointed not to see you on Uplay when I loaded it up. But it's good to see it. No, it's good to see you. I've said to you before, I don't get angry with people. I get concerned when I don't see people. So, okay. So we're set to do that. So we're set to fly to this this height at this many feet per minute. Next thing we need to do is set our navigation. So the first thing we do is Flight Director. Flight Director looks at every bit of information that you've set as your flight plan, and I don't set them manually, admittedly. I do it from the main screen. But what it does is Flight Director will run everything that you've put into that to the T. To the T, right? But you do need to select nav, because it needs to know that it's run that nav, or you can select heading. But because we're jumping through different nav frequencies with the autopilot in the FMS, it's gonna run automatically from the nav. So now we've got these selected. These are very important. The next important one is yaw damper, but we're gonna do that after we take off, and that stops us from kind of shaking the wings too much and stuff like that. And then the AP, the autopilot. So I'm going to try and remember exactly how we do this, right? Without thinking. Oh, really? That's a real shame. I know, because I know you've had problems with it, and I can't understand why. But has somebody stolen your account or something? Is that the situation? So, first thing we're going to do is we are going to turn 2. We've got the battery running, generator running, start running. Okay, so everything's running. So we'll turn the autopilot on, so we know it's on. That's a really important part, otherwise the autopilot won't work. And then what we'll do is we'll put cabin air pressure up to bleed. I'm going to set inert sep on. I'm going to hit pitot heat on, although I am going to get a warning for it because I think I'm probably turning it on before it's due to be turned on. Right, we're going to go. Give over, senor. Cat's messing about. So we're going to not strobe. Pulse. Turn the nav lights on because I can't remember exactly when you turn them on. So we're going to that one to on. So this is going to allow it to pump fuel. Okay. So the next one we're going to go. I don't know why ignition always starts on auto because it shouldn't. It should start in off, but you can't seem to change it. So we'll go engine start on. Oh no, we've had a. Oh, I thought we'd had a crash there. I think we have to go engine start on. One sec. Yeah. So that should be turning. Okay. Cool. Now that it's turned, we need to look for 13% here. We've passed 13%. So we can now put it up to the middle throttle. We now need to wait for this to go to 52%. When we see it hit what, let's say 48. Right, we know it's going to do it, so I'm going to click that and I right click it and it goes to low throttle, which is where my throttle's currently set. So that's alright, let's just check. I think that's right. So I'm going to go now auto select. We go to generator main. Not that one. Main. Okay. So main. Bum bum. That needs to be on auto now. That needs to be on auto now. So that horrible sound goes away. Then we have to look back here, and we should have two. Yeah. So we've got parking brake and inert sep on. Now inert sep it's a separation. It's a piece of separation equipment that that stops anything getting into the engine while you are taxiing and taking off. So that's the reason why that's flashing, but it's an acceptable flash. If you click that button, it stops flashing. Parking brake is completely normal because I'm parking at a parking spot here. But now we're going to talk to the ground services, and we're going to taxi to the runway.
Salt Lake Ground, Mike Ski 907 with
Now,
Sierra
pretend
ready
this
to
guy
taxi
isn't here,
IMR.
we're going to ignore him, and I'll tell you why we're
Mike
ignoring
Ski
him in a second.
907 taxi to and hold short of runway tree 4 right via taxiway Kilo 1 cross runway tree 5 cross runway tree 2 Juliet Mike. Contact tower on 119 or decimal 05 when ready.
So we've got to cross two runways here.
Taxiing hold short runway tree 4 right using taxiway Kilo 1 cross runway tree 5 cross runway tree 2 Juliet
But I
Mike
knew
Mike Ski
that from the
907.
map when I looked at it earlier. So look at there's all the traffic. So you can see here, it's like, oh, you have to go behind you. Yes, you normally would, but these planes do not get a pushback in general, especially after they've started their engines. You wouldn't get a pushback. What you'll actually do is feather your engines and go forward and make a turn. So that's what I'm going to do. Now you notice here, this is our flaps. At the moment they're up, so they need to be set down, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to do it during taxi because that's what I've experienced. Okay, so we're going to set off. So we need to take our parking brake off. I'll just make sure that our bleed's set. Now we're in Salt Lake City, midsummer, so you know what, I'm going to go a lot of fan, and I'm going to pull the temperature down, not to freezing cold, but I'm going to pull it down a little bit because I'm guessing we don't have any snow on the mountains yet that I can see here on the Washoe Mountains, so I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. Now, I do know a little bit of Salt Lake City. Wait, did I not take the parking brake off? There you go. I've got friends who live here and stuff, so I know Salt Lake City a little. So we're just gonna pretend that guy doesn't exist, and we'd make our own turn. to make the taxi. You from every video I've seen of private entities, none of them have pushback facilities. And I'm guessing it's because they don't pay enough. A lot of them, they have a wheel back facility, which is like when their planes get stored and then they get wheeled back and whatnot. So are you able to sign in and everything now, Jack? So yeah, they would kind of get wheeled back into the air hangar and into the hangar and stuff. And now this game, well, I call it game, it's a simulator, but it's really cool. It has everywhere on the planet. You can fly wherever you want. And I've done a few things this weekend, because before I was kind of this week, before I was kind of very specific about where I wanted to fly, and now I've kind of started taking some missions that take me to places I had no idea. And it's quite cool because you learn how to land on certain situations. So
Mike Ski 9 or 7 hold position, caution, the generic on final.
So I have to, okay, so this United Airlines here, I have to hold short for. So I'm going to push forward a little bit because he's on final to this runway. And I'm going to be honest with you, if I was a little bit more pushky.
Mike Ski 9 or 7, did you copy?
I did, actually, sorry. I could push it a little bit faster.
Hold position Mike Ski 9 or 7.
But I'm going to hold position because there is some weird... Do you know what? I'm going to go around him because I think he might be the final. Because he should not be parked like that. And the UAL is United...
Mike Ski 9 or 7, continue taxi.
Yeah, I think it was him.
Mike Ski 9 or 7, hold position, caution, the generic on upwind.
Yeah, I saw the generic on upwind.
Mike Ski 9 or 7, continue taxi.
I know. So, okay, so I've never had this problem in Salt Lake.
Roger,
Salt Lake's
Mike,
been generally been quite a clean airport. If I'd have known how to play Jack... No, I would have actually. It's been a while. I'll try and sign in tomorrow at some point now. I'll try and get on for a bit. I've got a little bit of shopping to do in the daytime, and I think that's it. So we'll put the flaps down. So we're going to go take off flaps, which are midge. So you see that the little thing's gone down there. I'd love to have a yoke system so that I could actually do that manually, but you can't, so I have a little button on my joystick that I do it on. And it feels okay. Whoa, look at him. So it didn't warn me about that traffic, did it? But you know what, it's alright, it's landed now. We might. I don't think we'll get buffeting. Oi! Hang on a minute. Is this my runway? I'm guessing so. Right, so we'll put the parking brake on. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there, so I really should. But I'm supposing this is my runway because, yeah, it turns off to the right, but we shouldn't. But we've parked in a good spot. We're right on the line, so whatever. We'll turn the tower a bit over the marker.
Cleared ILS runway tree, full right approach, generic 0 Alpha Charlie.
That's how runway to take off as well, unfortunately.
Salt Lake
Hopefully
Tower Mike
they'll
Ski
give
9 or
permission
7
straight
and runway
off.
tree 4 right ready for departure
I
IFR
can't
to
see
Reno.
him, so we should get it.
Mike Ski 9 or 7 QNH 29 or decimal 9 or 2 wind 258 at
Yeah,
tree.
we've got clearance.
Cleared for takeoff runway tree 4 right.
So because we're
Frontier flight 57 tree wind 258 at tree. Caution the generic landing runway tree 5. Cleared to land runway tree 4 right.
Cleared for takeoff runway tree 4 right Mike Ski 9 or 7.
line up. We're going for a fast takeoff here because we've got somebody behind
Cleared
us,
to
so
land runway tree 4 right.
we don't
Frontier
want to
flight
hold them
57
up.
tree.
So we're going to go full. Again, I haven't got rudders, so it might look a bit zigzaggy. I'm not actually doing anything crazy with the yoke. I'm just pulling it to the right slightly, but the yoke seems to have a thing where it's like, okay, we're going to just do it. It's got V1, rotate, and we're going to take off. Okay, so we're getting good angle. I'm going to pull it up to 10 degrees. we should still be getting half decent speed at 10 degrees. Okay, touch brakes. Landing gear up. So landing gear is coming up. Just gonna confirm it. Yeah, no. So I'll pull up
Mike
myself.
Ski 9er 7 contact Salt Lake departure on 128.1. Good day.
Now we're gonna wait till we clear the runway.
128.1
our
for Mike Ski
flaps up.
9er 7.
So flaps here are up. Oops. Pull on the things I should be. Now, two things. I'll put the autopilot on. Right, so two things. Didn't put my landing lights on, which I should have on. Stupid me. Right, they should be on. We don't really need them, but we'll turn them on anyway. We'll contact Salt Lake departure.
Salt Lake departure Mike Ski 9er 7 is at 5,800 feet, climbing 16,000 feet.
So let's go outside the plane a little bit. Because we've got to reach 16,000. We are going at 1,200 feet. But because we've got clear skies and I forgot to change it, what we should be doing is actually once you land, or once you're at the airport, is you go to live weather. Which apparently is clear, which I don't believe for a second. Don't know why it's not doing it properly. Right, because it didn't do it in the airport. So we're going to make a left turn over the Great Salt Lake. I've never seen water in the Great Salt Lake. I've seen ice. I've seen nothing. Stinkiness. I don't think I've ever seen water in the Great Salt Lake. I really don't. I really don't. So flaps are up, that's up. Intercept should be off now because I think we're above. I think you turn it off above 8,000 and then your damper's on. I didn't turn that on automatically, I think the autopilot turned it on. When you're landing you have to remember to try and turn it off. This is a beautiful area, so we're going to just run that up so we can get a good look out the window as a pilot. So these are Washoe Mountains, and these mountains are huge. That's downtown Salt Lake, and now it's just kind of artifacts, you don't really see it. But these mountains are humongous, and this mountain range is absolutely beautiful. I've never walked it, I would love to walk it. There's a walk actually up here that you can do. Oi. Oh, we got freeze. Have we got freeze on everything? Yeah. We've got freeze on it. I don't know what we've got freeze and what we haven't got a freeze on. Please. Okay, it's continued. So, yeah, so these mountains are absolutely beautiful. It's a cool thing if you can get on them. Salt Lake City is a very underrated city, in my opinion. Could you react to it? I'm a foreigner from the far land of Canada. That's not that far. I suppose it depends which part. I speak the ancient language of Canadian, eh? My Canadian accent is probably terrible. I only learnt it from one person. He wasn't very Canadian. How are you doing? Welcome in there, Canada Express. I like the name, by the way. I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to this game, I'm going to be honest, but I do love it. So I am learning as I go along, trying to do things correctly. And so, I'm guessing that's you following on Twitch. I'm trying to do these things correctly. I'm watching on the stream for whenever it did the graphic. It's not showing the graphic at the I'm a little bit back from Twitch and I watch on YouTube, so I'm even further back. Yeah, it's not showing. Did I leave something off? Oh no, there you go. Thanks for the follow. Thanks very much for the follow, I can do express. So, main thing, this, talk, 106. At the moment, I'm going to ignore it, and there's a reason I ignore it. My throttle quadrant is not good enough. Like, I can pull back a little bit, but what happens is, if I pull back a little bit, we're going to lose loads of airspeed. And in reality, the TBM does not do this. It's not as bad as this. I think when you're at 100 torque, you're normally talking about 220, and this is at 213. So it's a bit of an, it's not an issue, but it's a bit of a complaint at the moment, because this, you'd burn your engine out doing this. But if I mess around with it, I'm going to always end up being later to the location I expect to be. Just look at how beautiful this place is. It is one of the most, I'm telling you, it's one of the most underrated cities in the world. It really is. People are so welcoming. The city's pretty cool. Downtown is tiny. So the downtown is smaller than you can imagine, and then you're just encrusted with this these two mountain ranges. It's amazing. When I first went there, I had a lot of fears because people were going, well, it's Mormon country, they'll be trying to convert you and whatnot, and I was like, I don't want to upset anybody. By the way, the zoom, when you zoom right in, it looks terrible, but you just zoom out a little bit, and I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. To believe we could have a flight simulator like this in my lifetime, you just couldn't. The step up is unbelievable. When you played Flight Simulator X, you had to forgo reality at times. Or at least I did, as a player.
Mike 69er, 7 contact, Salt Lake Center, on 128.55.
So, you had to forgo reality at times. Like, you'd look at things and you're like, yeah, I know that mountain range, I know this, but it's not perfect. Because you probably have the beta product on. But this is just, it's unbelievable. When I fly around where I live, I can navigate from Barcelona to the French border by roads, even by rivers. I can navigate it easily. Made a landing in Les Gel the other week, which is on the Pyrenees border with Andorra. It's the actual kind of official Andorra airport, and the other day I did a flight there and the descent was calculated terribly. Anyway, I was about 3,000 feet above the descent, and oh sorry, yeah, I know you can hardly hear me in outside view. It's kind of the point, Jack. It makes sense. But yeah, I get you. That's why I try not to switch to it too much. Because now I have to shout really loud to get myself heard. But we're outside an aeroplane, for fuck's sake. But now we're back in the cockpit and it's all fine and dandy. So, what was I saying about? Oh yeah, so I came in for a landing at Les Gel and I hadn't set the altitude properly, and it was navigating me in, I can't remember, like 4,000 feet above my point, but I made adjustments. I was like, as soon as I came in over a place called Puigcerdà, which is Puigcerdà is the last village before France. I was like, I am way too high here, and I made self-adjustments. So, I mean, you wouldn't do that in reality. You'd ask for guidance, but you're in a valley, so I didn't want to crash into any mountains around. So, Oh, Kenneth Birch, how are you doing? My good lord, my good man, how are you? Been a long time. I don't forget people. We're still playing Div 2. I'm waiting for the update, mate. I'm waiting for the update. I will play a bit if Jack Morgan gets on. I'll play a bit with him. But at the moment, it's waiting for the update. I'm waiting for Heartlands. I'll give Heartlands a go as well. I mean, it's gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be anything, but people can put their hopes on it. But it isn't gonna be anything. Look at this mountain range. It's fucking amazing. I can't get my words. Look at how realistic this looks. And we're still 230 kilometers, which isn't that far to go. We're still a bit. Yeah, well, life takes over, you know. It's I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you accountable. Now, this seems really strange because I haven't got the camera on today. We're on autopilot. We are at 16,000 feet. We should have had clearance to go higher. Now, I'm going to be honest. It's because I didn't tune Salt Lake City Center.
Salt Lake Center, Mike Ski
We should have been told to go higher.
Feet.
Mike Ski 907 Salt Lake Center, QNH 30.11, continue to feel
But
as
I've had a
planned.
problem with this recently.
Mike Ski 907 climb and maintain flight level 280.
So he said go 280.
Climb and maintain flight level
So let's put
280,
it
Mike
to-
Ski
we'll
907.
go virtual speed.
Southwest 3020, contact Salt Lake Center on
And he said 280.
135.775. Good day.
I'll just click that one down because it's at 13. And then he said 280.
Going to 135.
So that was my fault. I wasn't paying attention. I misheard the the thing. So it's 280. Do you think it gets mundane? Oh, shite. Right, hang on. I think I've been pulling the wrong way. Right, hang on, Kenneth. Just let me get this up to 28,000 because I think I've messed it up a little bit there. Look, I was at 16. I hate this because if you push this knob in on a real TBM, you would be going up in
Salt Lake
thousands.
Center, Alaska 90684 is at 13,100 feet, descending 10,000 feet. Alaska 90684 Salt Lake Center,
Let me
QNH
set this
30.11,
onto
continue as planned.
28. Alright, okay. So, I've always said, and I was thinking it the other day, that The Division is one game where I don't mind rerunning missions. I honestly don't. There's something about that game that makes it feel like it's acceptable. But you might be right. When I'm doing stuff that's repetitive in Elite, Dangerous, or I'm doing stuff that's repetitive in Red Dead Redemption, I really feel it. I really feel like I'm doing something repetitive. So, but I think anything when you get too repetitive is going to become mundane, isn't it? Look at this. This view is amazing. Look at it. I try not to go to the outside view because I want to experience it like a pilot would. Not that smug bastard. Look at his face. Slap it with a dirty sock. Look at the smugness. One of those YouTubers. It's not enough to have a $2.5 million plane. It has to be smug and make videos on YouTube about it, you smug motherfucker. Open the door! Throw yourself out. No, it's a joke, mate. I'm not being serious. I'm not upset. Sit down. Cat's attacking the other one. Boss. So, yeah. I'm only kidding. But yeah, I do like to look out the window and see. I always feel like when you zoom in, crap, you go 2 clicks out, it starts looking sometimes comic-y, but a little bit more realistic. When you go about 4 times, it's really good. I think 4 times is kind of how you must be how your eyes look at the land. So we're 191 kilometers out. We're not a long way. Yeah, well, I mean, what is to progress at the moment? I think you've got a point there. What is to progress at the moment? I mean, I think we're getting content in December. I really do believe that the next content's going to come in December. It's going to be kind of surprise, not surprise, but if you remember when the New York add-on got dropped, it got dropped as almost a complete surprise. It was like a month of run up, and then it suddenly dropped on us. I think it's going to be like that. I don't know what they're planning. I really don't. I can't even begin to imagine. There's three raw gold epic slayers and another guy. I can't remember the third guy's name. Epic slayers I'm really losing patience with, because I honestly think the guy is just posting anything and everything for clicks at the moment that he can, because there's not enough content for him. So I'm really losing patience with him, because his videos don't give us anything that somebody else hasn't posted before, an idea that somebody hasn't posted before. It's all regurgitation. And to be honest with you, that's only happened since he was monetized. He never used to be like that, and I remember the day he got monetized, and then his videos have just taken a nosedive since then. Now, I'm going to be honest, that's personal preference and personal opinion. I don't doubt the guy's working hard, although I think I could attack a few checkpoints and do a voiceover myself, but he's built up his following, he's done what he's done, so I don't know, I don't want to attack him too much, but his videos are really, I used to love them, but at the moment they're really hard to watch. Real Gold's one of the only people that I actually watch his videos, and I'm like, every time I watch them, he either puts forward a point that interests me, even if I don't agree with it, or he gives me information that I didn't know before. Yeah, I'm hoping Heartland. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Heartland is going to be a free-to-play, buy things. Let's produce another Fortnite thing, but, and there is a huge but. A couple of years ago, Ubisoft put out a questionnaire, and the questionnaire was, would you rather play The Division in single-player story mode, or would you rather play it as PvP? The mass majority voted to play it single-player story mode. Hence why I think we've got this change coming. So there's a change coming in December where they've said we're going to change the game drastically, and you're going to have more build options. So I think the game in general is going to go in the lines of kind of like something like Ghost Recon Wildlands, but it's going to be done in a different way. But it's going to be heavily orientated towards the single player. And I've always felt that's how it should be. The Division agent should be super powerful. The Division agent shouldn't feel powerless. Even in the hardest situations, they shouldn't feel completely powerless. And I felt always in number 1 my build wasn't good enough. And in number 2 my build's good, but it's not good enough to take on heroic content. And I think that you should always feel that your final build can take on the content. So I don't know. We'll see what they do with it. My opinion is they've probably got good things on the horizon. So if I'm just going to show you while we're flying at this height. So this is where's my OBS? This is Sky Park. And so you can see at the moment, Sky Park knows that we're going KSLC to KRNO, which is Reno. Okay. So if we go to the start screen, we have our holdings, which is our current bank account. We have progress, which tells us roughly where we are, where we're going with XP. Karma is whether you do nice contracts or bad contracts. You can do dodgy contracts, which actually I don't care about karma. Some of these contracts could be interesting, running drugs from Mexico and stuff. So I'm not fully against that. I'm just going to clear these messages because I think they're money orientated, and I don't like the money orientated ones. Conduit is your current contract, which we saw, and your flight. This is the cool one. This is your current flight. So wait for it to load in because it should load in everything. Can you see it? This is how cool this is on the tablet. Although we are off our line, but we might not be. No, we're not. It's just your flight doesn't understand what we're doing. Now you can load your flight into your flight. Yeah, I think it's doing the most direct route. You can load your flight into your flight, which I haven't actually done yet. But look at this, it's so cool. It shows all the mountains. And we're going to come down here and then we're going to do this kind of spindly round. Actually, I think it comes before the lake. So we're going to do this kind of spindly round there. Whereas, yeah, it should have probably gone more there. In my opinion, it should have probably flown more to there and then done an approach that way. But for whatever reason, it didn't want to do it. So I'm not gonna argue with it. I ain't gonna argue with it, brother. So let's go on there and take that away. And go back to the main screen. So. Let's go outside the plane, so I might have to shout a bit. We've got Salt Lake City behind us here. These are the Washoe Mountains. Can you hear me? These are the Washoe Mountains here. And then these are the other... I've forgotten this mountain range here. I always forget the name. We've cleared this part here in the flat, and then we're in this next part. And then we've got... this part here to go. I don't know what these ball up mountains is. Reno is quite a long way away. I thought it was much closer. But anyway.
Mike Ski 907, climb and maintain flight level 300.
Okay, so we've got clearance to 300. And I'm going to be honest with you. Is it going to climb straight away? Yeah. So I'm going to go 3-1. There's a reason I'm going to go 3-1. That's our maximum altitude, and I'm going to acknowledge it. I am going to acknowledge it, yeah, just give us a second, mate. So I'm going to acknowledge it, and I'm going to request
flight level 300,
one more.
Mike Ski 907.
Because I think we're a fair way. Well, actually, are we a fair way, or are we, like, we can see, in this mountains and these mountains, we're right in the middle. So, you know what, I don't know if I should request 3-1. Let me look on the sky pad. I am... So, oh shit, I've knocked it off. Let me put it on screen, because it's better. I don't know why I sometimes don't want to put it on screen. There we go. So we're going to Reno, and in total we're like, what, 1/3 of the way? Maybe a quarter of the way. So on my screen it looks like one mountain range, when in actuality it's like numerous
Mike
mountain
Ski
ranges.
907, contact Salt Lake Center on 133.45. Good day.
So I'm going to say, I'm going to ask to go to 31.
133.45 for Mike Ski 907.
So let me just ask that when I tune in.
Salt Lake Center, Mike Ski 907, flight level 300.
Mike Ski 907, Salt Lake Center, continue to
So we've
field as
just hit
planned.
31. 31? I have to ask it, yeah. So I'm going to ask, cruising altitude increased by 1,000 feet.
Salt Lake Center, Mike Ski 907. Request flight level tree 10.
Mike Ski 907, climb and maintain flight level tree 10.
Okay, so we got clearance, so that's okay. We'll hit it automatically. How's your life going? Life's going okay. It's not 100% at the moment. Lost my grandfather a couple of weeks ago. I've been back in England for that. But it's life. It's not.
Mike Ski 907, did you copy?
I did. It's not something that I am like seriously mourning. Cause I'm a bit older
Climb
now.
and
I
maintain
understand
flight
it's
level
part of
tree
life.
10, Mike Ski 907.
But remembering him in different ways. COVID restrictions here in Spain are still a bit ridiculous. And people are being a bit ridiculous. We still have people wearing masks in the streets and in the mountains and stuff, which you can't tell them. They've got to learn themselves. Unfortunately, here they're a bit too trusting of government, unlike other countries. And what I mean by too trusting is because they want independence, so they kind of trust the government to try and do what they want. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And I think with the COVID restrictions, it's not been so good because the government don't want to relinquish some of the powers that they have at the moment, and they're arguing about them. And I'm like, listen, we all got vaccinated, every last one of us. I mean, the vaccination rate here is huge, like really high, and most people who can get it will get it. But the government's not wanting to lift restrictions in any way, and it's not helping. It doesn't make a difference to the curvature of the rates and whatnot. So I think some people are now starting to say, well, hang on, enough's enough. So they're changing some things. Now we can have children in our groups who... I can't remember the ruling. We can have children in our groups who are of the same age level, I think, is how it is. Kids of the same age group, but we had that anyway last year. It was just nobody could control it, so we had it anyway. Yeah, well, with the, you don't have to say sorry. It's all right. I know it's the natural thing for people to say, but he was old. He was getting on. He had a good life. We all celebrated. You know, I don't mean celebrated his death. That would be really horrible. But we all, you know, we took our time. Spent some time with my grandma. It's a hard thing because I'm in between a rock and a hard place now, because I don't know whether I should really go back to the UK to help my grandma or stay here and live my life. I don't know what I don't know what the answer is at the moment. She hasn't asked me or anything. It's just what I'm thinking. You know, she looked after me when I was a kid. She did a lot for me when I was younger, and so I wanna, as an adult, I'm like, I wanna protect her. It's a strange one, but yeah, my granddaddy, he'll be all right. He'll be up there with Marilyn Monroe. He was in love with Marilyn Monroe, my granddad. That place, where that line is saying it's right there, but we've only got 2 mountain ranges. But when I'm looking at my sky pad, I haven't got 2 mountain ranges, we've got like 3. So I don't know. I feel like the sky pad's off. It's weird to say it. It feels like the sky pad is off. Like when I say off, I mean off by it doesn't know where it is. Well, we're up there. This sounds more like an aeroplane now. I can see these extra ones, but it looks like it's in the next... Ah, no, it's not. That's our turning point. So I'm sorry. I'm talking bullshit. Look, we've got 62 kilometers and then we make a turn towards Reno. Okay, we're all loud and clear now. This is on PC. This is on PC. On my regular PC. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want you to tune out or anything, but you have to look at what I did before takeoff, because this is a TBM 930. TBM 930s are the easiest plane to get from dark into the sky. Now, this game's so cool. It actually has a thing where you click it here, flight assistant, and if you click AI piloting, it will do everything. Everything. But you don't want it to do everything. You don't want it to do everything. So you have these other options where you can choose the checklist. I don't know if it's settings here. Yeah, there's a button there, checklist. So it will purposely make you go through. It will highlight what you need to do next, and you kind of get used to it. I've got used to it, even if I don't do it in exactly the correct way. I have got used to it. Is that right? Is that working, that map? Let's have a look. Right, okay, let's go back onto PDF. This is actually a really important moment to see if this is working, and it's not. That's frozen. 100% that's frozen. So this map, when it freezes, you cannot control the freeze. Unfortunately, a real sad thing. It seems like they're always trying to catch up, but I'll try and update. I mean, maybe mine is not the best version of the TBM upgrade. If a private company make a TBM 940, I'm doing the praising movement now, because if they do a TBM 940, I'm going to be over the moon. Because a TBM 940 with an auto throttle is one hell of a thing. It means everything can be automated, almost. Now when I land, we can talk about this. We're a few miles out yet, so it's alright. When I land, I'm totally comfortable freehanding it, but I prefer to try and get it to take it in on the glide slope. So what we're going to have is, as we get close, I think, because I think we've got an ILS approach. I don't know, I don't remember. We should have a G appear here. If it's green, it's okay, but when it's purple, we've got to get it to catch the glide slope. So you'll have this little diamond somewhere here, and it'll move up, and when it captures it in the center, this button here, approach, will capture it and start the descent. Now, it doesn't always do it, because not every airport has that, but I'm starting to get very used. I've still got, they have like this cone of approach, which I now like to use, but I have started to get used to landing without it, or without using it so much. So it's there, but I don't use it as much, so I can come in low, high, whichever I feel is appropriate. And I did do a landing earlier today in a forest on a dirt runway, so, and it was all visual reference, so we'll have to see. Lake Tahoe still a way off. I thought it was this point where we reach it, but it's not, it's this one, so. Oh, hang on, he used to be racial, Asgar. This used to be a racial guy. He was yours, but this guy kicked you out. You need to file for reparations. He kicked you out and came on board. I don't know who this guy is. he's not the he's not the guy I hired.
American 1308 traffic
That's
is
not the guy I hired. I've just realized you made me think now. I'm like, I never hired this dude.
Sierra Pacific 708 traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 340 generic.
This is
Report them in sight.
a darker complexion. But to be honest, I never picked female either. With an Asobo t-shirt, I would certainly wouldn't have
American
chosen that.
1308 has the traffic.
And not with a bugger. There's a bugger there. How are you doing? Any new games coming soon that you want to play? Sorry if I'm a bit late. I might be a bit late on that message. 41, 43. Okay, no, we're not that late. Upgrades to Cyberpunk. I'm looking forward to them. I've been playing Cyberpunk a little offline, so off stream, and I've been really enjoying it. I think it's at a point now where it's enjoyable. There's no games that I can actually sit here and say that game I'm looking forward to. That very recently with the Microsoft what would you say, the Microsoft showcase, the PS5 showcase, I've been very underwhelmed because it's all fantasy stuff, and fantasy is not my forte, if you will. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, so oh, we're making a little bit of a turn, and I'm hoping that this flight isn't too much. Oh, look, the view is beautiful. I love it. Even if it is through the desert. Even if it's false weather conditions. False weather conditions. Let me have a look actually. I'm going to have a look. Clear skies. Let me have a look. I am going to go to my trusty weather forecast website, which I trust to the max. Zoom out, because I'm currently looking at it in Spain. I'm going to look at it in Salt Lake City. Because the other day when I used this website, Louisiana was almost perfect weather conditions. I don't mean perfect for flying, I mean it was as it said on the website. It's acting up a bit at the moment. I'll show the website if it lets me zoom in. Right, okay, here we go. I think it's got it now. So, how would we show this on stream? Give me a second to show this on stream. So we got window capture, I guess. I know this is messing about, but I want to try and get it right. Cancel. So it's not window capture.
American 1308 traffic is 2 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 310 generic. Report them in sight.
Browse. Oh, sorry, no. Wait. Sorry,
Delta 377 traffic is 9 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 340 generic. Report them in sight.
Sorry, because I don't know
American
exactly how to show
1308
this.
traffic is 3 o'clock 3 miles at flight level 350 generic.
It's not
Report
browser,
them in
so it
sight.
should be window capture, shouldn't it? It'll just be
American
a standard
1308
window
traffic
capture.
alert. 10 o'clock less than 1 mile flight level 310 generic.
But it's not
Report
showing
them in
it.
sight. Sierra Pacific 708 traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 350 generic. Report them in sight.
It's not showing my internet. Well,
Sierra Pacific,
it's not the
708
end of the
traffic
day,
in
it's
sight.
not a deal breaker, but my internet shows the weather better than the game does. And the other day I used it in Louisiana, so they had a lot of storms in Louisiana, and I dropped in and the weather conditions were exactly how they said in Louisiana. But they've got another storm off the northeast coast, haven't they, at the moment? So that's going to be a butt kicker, probably. Let me have a look. I'm just seeing what people are writing. Give me a sec, because my eyes aren't the best at the moment. I might get Far Cry 6. It does look good, but it's a Far Cry game. So what I mean by that, when I laugh, is that Ubisoft at the moment have a rinse repeat policy. So everything is do this, do that, go to there, open up that part of the map, rinse repeat, and we'll give you something tickety boo. And I'm not really happy with it. I think it failed with Watch Dogs. I paid full price for Watch Dogs. Full price. I'm tapping my hand on the desk to emphasize the full price for Watch Dogs, because I felt it was going to be good, and it was not good to my standard.
American 272 have the generic in sight.
And then I actually invested a little bit in, not as much, because people had donated to the stream and I
United
put money there.
1999er, 8
But
traffic
I
in sight.
donated to the Viking one. I forgot what a Viking one is. Anyway, Valhalla. I used the last bit of money that I'd had from donations for Valhalla. I don't think I paid for the base game. I don't think I've got the other bits yet, which is one of the reasons why I've not played it. And I felt Valhalla was okay, but yeah, it plays on that Ubisoft thing of click here, click there, click everywhere. The problem for me is that Ubisoft build the best open world maps by a long shot. Rockstar do a very good job, but it's, I feel like I'm chopping my throat out, but it's true. It's not as good as Ubisoft. And Ubisoft, the difference is that Rockstar can do missions very, very well, and the opposite is the name. I forgot. Can't get it out. Oh my god, what's happened to my head? I'll get it. 1 second. Let me think. Well, you know, the people who make other games, they don't, and it's as a gamer it's hard because you get standards set by one game that you want to follow into another, and unfortunately it's not always going to be that way. I'm going to suggest a flight following because I think I have. Yeah, okay. No, I've got a flight following. So I've never played a Far Cry game. Well, Far Cry 5 had a really cool idea behind it. Like religious sect take over a town, take over a county, and it had very, very good ideas behind it. But I remember I played it for 3 days, and after 3 days I was just like, fuck me, I cannot repeat the same crap again. Now, I can't say that I can't say that Cyberpunk isn't that different. What I can say is that Cyberpunk does do what it says on the tin, so that's the hardest part for me, because you can't ask anything of them because it does what it says on the tin. He doesn't make outlandish claims. I love that line of clouds there. It's really cool. It's like, it's very immersive because this time you've got nothing. You've got mist. And then on this side you've got like this wall of cloud moving in. And if you follow the real weather, it probably is moving in. "206 kilometers to go." Good, because I'm dying. I'm a bit tired today. I thought this was a semi-short flight, but it's not. I didn't realise Reno was this far away. Give me a second, let me load my thing up to the stream. Oh, I'm gonna move that up then. Okay, there you go. So if you look on the My Fly app, we're over halfway. So we're not at a short distance, we're over halfway. We're gonna swoop in here, and then we're gonna do like let's see, let's get it into the right way. We're gonna do here, and then we're gonna do a swoop around. So I don't know whether we go around the top of the lake or we just go around the top of here. Now I can't see that. You can actually see, look, El Paso, Tijuana, Sonora. That's Mexico here. Now the other day, as a test flight, I flew from Houston into Monterrey, and then I flew from Monterrey to Mexico City. But I've pulled the plane back since then. So we just have to concentrate on this at the moment, and that will be our approach. But we are at flight altitude, so sorry, cruise altitude is the correct term. But it's so the game. Look at this. The game does an amazing job. Amazing job. Like, you can't ask any more of it. Okay, Kenneth, well, good to see you. Don't get to see me land. You'll have to watch later on because my landings are always tip-top and I want to grease it, so it would be nice. But good to see you. I'll land this in the name of you today. So I'm gonna grab a quick red wine before we start landing because I think they're gonna ask for descent at 140 or something. So I'm gonna just grab a quick vino, and I will be back to the microphone in a minute. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just gonna check my housemate, and I got some food. Red berries. So I'm trying to eat red berries as I speak. Just make sure that we didn't get signed off. No, not yet. I'm going to put my microphone up a second because I'm gulping red berries down. Right, sorry about that. I have eaten my red berries, and they were beautiful. I'm trying to eat a bit healthy these days. It's not for me. Healthy eating. I'm doing it for 2 weeks. I don't feel any better. People promised me. They said, "You eat healthy, Swifty. You'll notice it overnight." I wouldn't notice if you sent me a letter. Right, so I've pushed the torque, or I've pushed the throttle up to 100 now, because at 93 it's way off. Everything else is in the green, as you can see, so we're actually doing alright and everything else. But this is one of the reasons why I don't change the torque. Because though it's over torquing here, there's never going to be a kind of forfeit in the simulator, and then in actuality the numbers are right. So look, it's in like 85, 86 torque now. I'd have to check that. We are at a high altitude, but don't know if it drops that low. So we're 102 kilometers out. Isn't that far now? So we should probably get our descent. My thinking would be about maybe 80-60 kilometers. Depends the altitude here. I didn't actually take, and this is a stupid thing, I didn't take note of what my takeoff altitude was. So let's just have a look at outside. Have a look how cute this is, or how cute this is. Look at all the cloud. Look at all the cloud. Sorry, I'm going to hold my microphone up. Look at all the cloud behind us here. Look at all of that cloud, like built up, and you can even see it over the top. And then over this side, the cloud's a little bit here. It's a little bit built up over there. Over here, clear. And this is how active weather should be. the active sky that I had before used to kind of do, you'd pass a weather station and it would just inject the weather. But if anybody's a programmer, you would honestly understand that, well, between two weather stations, when it picks up the new weather station's weather, you should probably I'm going to put it, program in a milder form of what the weather will be at the destination to make it a bit more fluid, but they didn't, so hey ho. We're going to be making a turn in 80 kilometers. Now I say 80 kilometers because I can't trust that. Doesn't seem to be working, but it is working, isn't it? I don't know if it is working. Can't quite tell.
Salt Lake Center JetBlue 534 is passing flight level 330, descending 11,000
I'm
feet.
Mike Sky, by the way, so I have to listen up for
JetBlue
Mike Sky.
534 Salt Lake Center, continue as planned.
Now, I did say today we'd
Mike
go,
907 contact Oakland Center on
we'd go out of our
128.8.
way, but
Good day.
I didn't realise it was that far, so he's handing us off.
128.8 for Mike Ski 907.
Contact Oakland Center, which is fine.
Oakland Center, Mike Ski 907, flight level 310.
Mike Ski 907 Oakland Center, continue to Mike Victor Alpha as planned.
So we can see SW. I like to look at
3353 traffic at 2 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 320 to RTBM 9. Report some insight.
I saw it.
Mike Ski 907 traffic at 2 o'clock, 3 miles at flight level 350 generic. Report some insight. Skywest 3353 contact Salt Lake Center on 133.45. Good day.
Well, I've reported it in
Mike Ski
sight.
907 have the traffic.
I reported it in sight, but to be honest with you,
133.45 Skywest 3353.
that was close, that one. Kilometers. So if we shite, wrong one. If we go there, and then we make that appear again.
Oakland Center Delta 2775 is passing flight level 360, descending 10,000.
We're not actually that far away from Reno.
Delta 2775
In
Oakland
comparison
Center,
to
continue
where
as
we
planned.
were, we should be making the turn at some point. Because I don't think we're going to go far north as Lake Tahoe, but I think we're going to kind of swoop in, make the turns here. That would be my supposition. So I have to just be mindful because they don't necessarily want to tell me to descend yet, which is strange. I really think that it says 212. I can't imagine it's 212 kilometers. Looking at the map, I just can't. we have to make sure. And to be honest with you, if we get it down and everything, I'm happy. That's the thing I'm most happy about, is getting it down in the right way. Even if I make some small mistakes on the way, I don't mind, as long as we get it down the way we should. It's only moving down like really slowly where it says the tower, but it's kind of amazing it's 200 kilometers. It doesn't make sense. We'll see when we come in. If we cut out the weather here and actually have a look at the map, you'll see the difference. So here's our waypoint, so we're going to make the change in a moment. So this is where we're going to do the approach change. We'll go all the way down to Ryan, blah blah blah, Kerlock, Belby, and then slabs R2, and then we'll come in on a straight line for the runway. So this generally, in general, requires a tiny bit of work in a moment, because it's probably going to say descend blah blah blah, but it's not as easy to descend as it should be. We can try until we get it set up. So what we're going to do is a flight level change with a reverse of thrust, and hope that puts us there. Now we're just approaching the intersection point, because we can see it on our map. Although the plane doesn't seem to move, but then when we take it into consideration.
Oakland Center, generic November, 844 Juliet Sierra, is at flight level 3905, descending 10,000 feet.
So we're making a turn like
Flight
any second
907
now.
descend and maintain flight level 200. Generic November 844 Juliet Sierra, Oakland Center, continue as planned.
Descend and maintain flight level 200 Mike
See,
Ski
it's saying level 200.
Oakland Center, generic November
So what we're going to do
488 Alpha
here is
Mike
we're
is
going to
passing flight level
click
340,
flight level
descending
change.
10,000 feet.
Let's pull back
Generic
on the
November
throttle.
488 Alpha Mike, Oakland Center,
And it
continue
makes
as
the
planned.
change.
Delta 2775 traffic is 10 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 340 generic. Report them in sight. Generic 8 Alpha Mike traffic is 3 o'clock, 3 miles at flight level 360 generic. Report them in sight. Delta 2775 contact Oakland Center on 125.75. Good day. Generic 8 Alpha Mike traffic in sight.
So we've pulled on the accelerator a bit just to
Going to
play full speed. I
125.75
think
Delta
197,
2775.
which is not a crazy amount of speed.
Oakland Center, Allegiant 27 is passing flight level 380, descending 10,000 feet. Allegiant 27, Oakland Center, continue as planned.
out to the next waypoint. So we can see we've got a new waypoint here. Then we've got this whole valley to cross towards Lake Tahoe, and we'll veer off to the right here, come back around, and then land in Lake Tahoe. So I don't think we're going to see Lake Tahoe, which is sad because Lake Tahoe is really beautiful. But people come out and go, oh, it's supposed to be bad. It's like, yeah, you have to experience it first. Right, so I'm not a huge distance out. It's like when I'm at home. It feels lower. 31,000 feet is the cruising altitude. You should be like, you should feel higher than this. Let's get this baby down. I didn't think it was going to be this long at the cruising altitude. I honestly thought it was going to be quicker. Shit, that's alright, I just leant on there. I thought it was going to be quicker. Well, let's face it, everybody just wants to see me crash anyways.
Southwest 59er, 84 contact Oakland Center on 125 decimals.
That's
75.
not Lake Tahoe in front of us. Tahoe. That is Lake, I've forgotten the name of it, I always forget the name of it.
Going to 125 decimal 75 southwest 59er 84.
Oh, it doesn't say on this map, but it's not Lake Tahoe. Tahoe's much bigger. Carson City is in there. What's that movie? Oh grapes, Nicolas Cage. Come on. Come on, Swifty, you know your Nicolas Cage movies.
Generic 8 Alpha Mike traffic is 11 o'clock, 4 miles at flight level 330 generic. Report them in sight. Delta 301 traffic is 1 o'clock, 2 miles at flight level 340 generic. Report them in sight. Generic 8 Alpha Mike traffic alert.
Right,
3
so
o'clock less
you'll
than 1
notice
mile,
I'm
flight
dropping
level
below what
330
my assigned
generic.
altitude was, not
Report them in
because
sight.
I want to get them to report it straight away that you're descending, because normally, you know, if you have IFR clearance at 33,000,
Generic 8 Alpha Mike traffic in
they'll
sight.
give you it. It's like grandpa syndrome.
Delta 301 has the generic in sight.
Should get clearance to descend again as soon as we reach 19,000. Right, okay, so we're passing through 22,000, heading for 19. The approach altitude that we're looking for is 20,000, if I remember rightly. I set 19.9 because I just wanted to be a bit lower, a little bit lower than.
Oakland Center, Allegiant 90 is passing flight level 300, descending 10,000 feet. Allegiant 90, Oakland Center, continue as planned.
Oh no, it's going to say we've lost our connection, please. We're so close to the landing spot. Do it to us. Right, okay, we're going to pass through 20,000. Oh no!
Alpha Mike, contact Oakland Center on 127.905. Good day.
So we've been switched to standard ATC.
Oakland Center, Mike Ski 9.
And we're going to have to switch to... I'm going to do it in the general options and... data. So we have to turn that back on. Blah de blah de blah. Apply and save. Because
7 requesting vector to next waypoint.
Mike Ski 907, continue to Urine turning and following
That's
heading
nice,
340, proceed on course.
give me a break.
127.905 for generic 8 Alpha Mike.
Continue to Urine turning and following heading 340, resume on navigation Mike Ski 907.
Very close now to...
Mike Ski 907, descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet Mike Ski 907.
Oakland Center, American 2078 is passing flight level 260, descending 10,000 feet.
American 2078, Oakland Center, continue as planned. Generic 0 Alpha Kilo, contact Oakland Center on 127.905. Good day.
Oh, we'll get down to 10.5. I'm just going to have a gummy. I'll wait for that.
127.905, generic 0 Alpha Kilo.
Damn it! Hopefully it didn't lose connection. What? I don't think it lost total connection. The fields and everything were right. Oh god, that's chalky. Got some water with an energy helper. Tasted like I was drinking dirty water, but anyway, I'm gonna pull this engine back just slightly. I just want us to get down to height, which reckons 10,000 in, what's the time limit? In 20 odd kilometers, so I think it's doable. I'm not a quick mathematician, unfortunately. So we're not far off. I'm not sure if we should be at 10,000 feet when you get there. We're at 15,000 feet at the moment, still got 16 kilometers, so I never know whether to do that and then a flight level change. But we use the old mode, I guess. Stop fucking winding me up, cat. Pull your head off. Pull her off. Cat's trying to get my attention. Because I haven't fed her enough today, as far as she's concerned. So... Right, so we've got 60 kilometers, okay. So, I'm gonna be honest with you, personal opinion, 6 kilometers is where you start making like, you're like, okay, this is the main deal. It's the main deal. Pull that back to 1.2, no. So we need that down to 1.2, okay. So yeah. We're dropping, but that doesn't mean we're not making speed, but we're not making too much speed, just 90 somewhat. And if my quarterback hadn't
Mike
ran
Team
for the
907,
day,
you are 30 miles southeast. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS Zulu runway 16 right approach via clock transition. Cleared to clock.
Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect ILS Zulu runway 16 right approach via clock transition. Cleared to clock Mike Ski 907.
okay, so we're at 12. Should be hitting 10 soon. And then we're going to be on the last approach, I think. So we can see the airport here, it's behind that mountain there. Oh look, there's sun over way out. We're on the flight plan. You can see it here, but I'm going to be honest with you, can't trust that flight plan now. For example, we got a plan
Mike Ski 907, contact Norcal approach on 119.2. Good day.
Could they touch the tower?
Mike Ski 907, did you copy?
I did, sorry.
Going to 119.2 Mike Ski 907.
Wow, that was us arriving at 10,000. So contract approach.
Norcal approach Mike Ski 907 is passing
North Cal- North
10,800 feet,
California,
descending
where-
10,000 feet.
Mike Ski 907 NorCal approach QNH 30.04 continue to clock as planned.
Right, just have to wait for us to arrive at 10,000. So some of these, the views on this plane are amazing. Outside as well, like I just look at this. Now the beauty, the absolute beauty about this plane is 1,300 is the minimums. Anything below that, right up till the boat will go die, like you can use it. You don't have to throw it away. Right, 25 miles out, so we should get some vectors, I think. We should get something to descend. I know we're not doing a full ILS or a full RNAV approach, but we should get something. Because we're gonna hold in at 10,000 forever.
Mike Ski 907 descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
So it's in 9,000 feet, which is nothing. I'll ignore it.
Descend and maintain 9,000 feet Mike Ski 907.
Change. Pull back, throttle a little bit. Right, I'm gonna wake up a little bit because I'm a little bit tired here. I have been up since 8 o'clock this morning, so I do apologise for being non-talkative and a little bit not so chatty. So we're aiming for here, and then we're aiming to land at Tahoe here. So it said to bring us to 9,000. Don't know what the runway's at. It's like must be 4,000. Something. If we don't get established on a localizer, it's not the end of the day. I honestly feel that we should be able to land in clear conditions. I really do feel that I should be able to put this down, but you never know. We're here. 594. I don't think I actually selected it right, so... we have to be careful about mixed approaches and stuff, or missed approaches. Now this isn't strange behaviour flying out away from the airport to find the approach plate for the airport. It isn't unusual. It might be unusual in this flight because I feel we should have come straight across to this point and then steadied off, but doesn't seem to matter in this game. We are pulled on the it's getting late in the night. But you wouldn't do it right. You wouldn't do it right. So it's 6,000. Heading to 6,000, so we shall...
Mike Ski 907 descend and maintain 7,500 feet. Mike Ski 907, did you copy?
I think I did.
Descend and maintain 7,500 feet, Mike Ski 907.
Norcal departure, generic Juliet Sierra X-ray 501 is passing 6,300 feet, climbing 10,000 feet. Generic Juliet Sierra X-ray 501 NorCal departure QNH 29.76 continuous planned.
No! Stop saying I don't have a connection. It's always when I'm switching between locales, so I'm guessing it's a connection problem in that sense. Come on, let me land. Don't think we have a map. Make sure that right, we should be making a left-hand approach just here. We are at... I mean, it says here we're at 7,500, but we're definitely at 7,500. So, right, let's wake up. Let's get this all setted up. Because I've been as a bit sleep.
Mike Ski Niner, 7 you are 13 miles north of Reno. Contact Reno Tower on 118.7 when inbound on the approach.
Norcal departure southwest 3450 is at 6,700 feet, climbing 10,000 feet. Southwest 3450 NorCal departure QNH 30.06 continuous planned.
Tower on 118.7 Mike Ski 907.
Put on the first wheels down. Let's turn Reno Tower on.
Reno Tower Mike Ski 907 miles north inbound ILS Zulu runway 16 right approach.
Mike Ski Niner, 7 Reno Tower. QNH 30.06 wind 201 at 4. Cleared
Put the
ILS.
approach
Southern
on,
runway
because
16 right approach.
I feel like we can approach. So it's changed the angle of attack. We're gonna bring down the second and the landing gear.
Mike Ski Niner, 7 please acknowledge.
Yeah, I'm acknowledging, sorry.
Cleared ILS Zulu runway 16 right approach Mike Ski
So we're
907.
essentially on an autopilot approach, and what we'll do is about 200, 100 feet above the ground we'll take over, because on these approaches, like for me, you have to take
Mike
over.
Ski Niner, 7 wind 201 at 4. Cleared to land runway 16 right.
Cleared to land runway 16 right Mike Ski 907.
98 at the moment, which is alright. I'd prefer it to be 90. Right, here we go. So we have we do our last things. Landing gear down, flaps down for landing. We are perfectly in the cone. We're at 96 kilometers per hour. It is very good. We're low. Lower than I would have thought, but you know what? We don't care. So take control of my my joystick now. Well, a tiny bit low than I would expect. But I'm gonna let this run it down until it says 200. When it says 200, I'll take over. Just it. Just it. So we're like minimums. I haven't even taken it off. I'm going to take it off right now. So I'm going to take off your damper too. And it's going to literally take us like right where I want it to. So I'm going to go just above. There you go. There's no airport here in the game. There's no airport here in the game. The runway is fucked. I love that it brings us to these places. Look at the runway. Whoa, it took off.
Mike Ski 907,
Okay.
turn next taxiway.
Okay.
Mike Ski 907, contact ground on 121.9er.
Okay. I like how we took off there. That's pretty cool. But in reality, this is a big airport. Disproportionate in reality. There's nothing here. It's a bit sad.
Mike Ski 907, did you copy?
I did. It's a bit sad that it does it that way.
Going to 121.9er, Mike Ski 907.
Right, so I mean, we're not gonna get clearance. We'll just push forward here. I'll go on the somewhere on the tarmac here. There's no official parking here, so we shall park her up and park and brake. Stuff like that. Right, we're parked. We're parked because I had to park here. Hey, Budman, how's it going? It's okay. I've got to run myself, and I'm so tired. I haven't really. It's past the stream. I think I fell asleep, but it's not. It's because I've had a long day. Long day. Okay, so people, I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you very much for joining. I'm so sorry. It's well, it's not short. It's been long enough. It's just it's been much more than long enough to have 10, half 11, half 12. 2.5 hours? Can't be 2.5 hours. It has. It's been 2.5 hours. Jeez Louise. But thanks for joining in, and I will stream very much soon in the near future. Okay, everybody, have a good night.